Hi, everyone. Welcome. This is Amy with Rise, and we are interviewing exceptional women in insurance. And I am so pleased to welcome today Victoria Turchetti, who is head of staff counsel at Intact. Welcome, Victoria.
Hi, Amy. How are you?
Doing good. So for those who aren't familiar with you, if you could just do like a quick intro, let us know what you do.
Yes, I am at Intact, as you noted. I run the staff counsel office here in New York City, and my group practices in New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania on defense claims. And I also oversee the subrogation legal group for Intact.
That's awesome. And you actually started the staff council, right? For
I
the
did. I
company.
did. Yes, 6 years ago. Time flies when you're having fun. I joined Intact 6 years ago to help launch the Staff Council program here in the US. It's been a very robust program in Canada where Intact is based, and myself and my colleague, Rich Bishop, who runs our California office, we launched the program together.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you've had a very successful career. We've known each other for a while. Can you talk about maybe a defining moment that's played a crucial role in your success?
Sure. My defining moment, if you will, would have been earlier in my legal career. I was practicing litigation. I practiced litigation at outside law firms for about 10 years or so in the first part of my career. And I had the opportunity at that time to work on the 9/11 litigation, which is obviously very, very tragic circumstances. I worked specifically on the property damage claims in and around the World Trade Center site in New York City. But it was pivotal for me because for a few reasons. Was able to gain leadership experience pretty early in my career. I was a fourth or fifth year associate at the time. I had litigation management experience. It helped me branch out into handling property damage claims and gaining expertise in that area, which has been invaluable in terms of my subsequent insurance career. And I also, and perhaps most importantly, just the contacts and the relationships I developed during that litigation, including from adversaries, that many of whom have become friends and certainly have helped me advance my career over the past, 15 or so years.
Wow, talk about being thrown into the fire. That was a big one.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
We've talked a little bit before about mentorship, but can you tell me from your perspective how important it's been to you in your career, and if you have any examples of mentorship in your.
Sure. Sure. I mean, mentorship, as we all know, is critical. It's crucial, to be able to get advice and guidance in terms of career steps and work-life balance and a whole host of areas. But I would say even more important than mentorship is sponsorship. And it's one thing to be able to get the guidance and the advice, but you also need someone that's going to advocate for you and is going to help you identify opportunities for you to advance your career. And I've been fortunate over the course of my career, both at my when I was practicing at an outside firm, as I noted on the 9/11 litigation, in terms of the leadership experience I was able to develop, and then also once I went in house in terms of the management experience. And my first carrier that I worked for, they really took a chance on me because I didn't have formal management training, but there was a leader there who sponsored me, so it was terrific. And I try to do the same for others in terms of their career, both people and attorneys within our company, as well as other sponsors or sponsees, if you will, outside of the organization.
That's awesome. And that's great to hear that it's really helped you through your career. If for anyone's looking for a mentor, I will say Rise Mentorship Program. If you're looking for a sponsor, I mean, talk to us and Victoria or myself, and we could kind of give you some pointers if you're looking to find a sponsor in your company. Victoria, you just alluded to this a little minute ago about the importance of all those connections that you made when you were working on that case. Can you talk to us about the importance of networking and if you have some tips on professional networking?
Sure. And networking, as I gave the I explained, what the 9/11 litigation in those contexts have helped, but I will also say your networking does not necessarily just have to be in your formal work capacities or experiences there. I'm very, very active both in my undergraduate and my law school alumni communities, and both have played a huge role in helping me advance my career. My first job out of law school, I was hired by an alum of my undergrad. And then my next job, I was hired by an alum of my law school. And I continue to give back in terms of those capacities. And it just in terms of tips, I would say, one thing, and I think this is critical, particularly in today's hybrid environment, is you need to get out there. You can't be, there's a certain amount of networking that you can do by Zoom, but it's limited. I think there's nothing replaces face-to-face contact and interpersonal interactions. I also would say it's also important that it's not just establishing those connections, but it's maintaining those connections. And, LinkedIn is a great tool. And, sometimes you can just be, when you see someone has a job update or what have you, just congratulate them or send them a note. And I know people have done that for me. I try to do that for others. And that's a very easy way to stay in touch. And I also would, and this is in a similar vein, is I would also recommend, and it's critical, that you help others as well as when you're asking for help from others.
Yeah, always looking to, how can I connect you too, or where can I add value for the other person? Absolutely. So I'll end with this one last question: is what is the advice that you have for other women that are aspiring to similar heights and looking, for success in the insurance industry?
Sure. Well, first and foremost, I would just say, put in the work, do the work, your work ethic. You put in the work, good things will happen. I know that sounds pretty basic, but I'm a firm believer in that. It's true. And it may take time and it may not be on the timeline that you expect, but continue to do the work and there will be results. But along those veins, I would also say, don't be afraid to stretch yourself. Don't be afraid to take on a job that, you may not have all the qualifications listed on a job posting. Because, I'm a big, you never want to oversell yourself on something that you're going to struggle in. But I think a lot of things that are positions where you can figure things out. And I've been able to do that, and it's worked out well for me. And then lastly, and I think this goes back to the networking piece, is I think particularly as women, we need to help other women. I often find in the workplace that sometimes women can be very competitive with each other. And I've been an athlete my entire life, so I appreciate competition. But by the same token, it's in the workplace, we need to be supportive of each other. We need to be able to advocate for each other. And we, not to be cliche here, but we need to be able to rise together, as your tremendous organization has done.
Oh, I fully and wholeheartedly agree with that. Thank you so much, Victoria, for sharing your wisdom today. It was a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you, Amy.
And for everyone else watching, please follow Rise for more Women History Month, Exceptional Women in Insurance.